Please don't forget to like and share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
Chapter 23, Funeral Attire.
The night before the funeral, Brandon pulled the plastic dry cleaning cover off his dark suit and began to consider which dress shirt and tie to wear. He had asked what color the pallbearers would be wearing, and to his surprise, he was told he could wear whatever he wanted. Realizing that the dress code likely ranged from flip-flops and shorts to khakis and suits, Brandon decided to just be himself and wear a suit, planning to take off the jacket if necessary. He took a shirt to the laundry room where the ironing board was set up. As he passed by his father's closet, he noticed his dad's suit, shirt, and tie hanging neatly. On a whim, he decided to match his father's attire. Brandon wondered how long the service and the ride to the cemetery would take. His dad reassured him that this service would likely be shorter than the typical family funerals in their culture, which often lasted the entire day. Chuckling at his father's stereotype, Brandon took the ironed shirt, placed it on a hanger, and returned to his room to hang it up. There, he noticed a voicemail on his cell phone. It was from Kiki, checking in on him about the service tomorrow and letting him know she would talk to him later. That Thursday, Gloria stayed home to meet Tato after school, while Brandon and Harold attended the funeral of Junior, George's son. The atmosphere was somber, with about 40 friends and family members gathered to mourn the tragic loss. Junior's girlfriend, Aina, and her father quietly slipped into the back pews to avoid drawing attention. The service included a viewing, with George, Kate, and a few other family members seated in the front row. After pausing to look at Junior's body, Harold approached George, who appeared exhausted, with bags under his eyes, barely acknowledging Harold's presence. Harold gently patted George on the shoulder and moved on. Hymns were sung, scripture was read, and the minister delivered the eulogy. The service lasted less than an hour. At the end, the funeral director requested the pallbearers to rise and escort the casket to the church foyer. 6 young men stood up, some dressed in polo shirts and khakis, others in a Detroit Lions jersey, and one in a Phillies t-shirt. Brandon handed his suit jacket to his father and joined the group of pallbearers. The family was escorted out of the service first, followed by the rest of the attendees. As there would be no burial, Junior was to be cremated. As people began to leave, Harold noticed something unusual: police cars pulling up and officers approaching George with a respectful demeanor. Then, to everyone's shock, George was suddenly placed under arrest. Harold and Brandon were stunned, struggling to grasp what was happening. Kate and the other family members were in tears, while the rest of the attendees stood in disbelief, unsure of how to react. Gradually, people began to drift toward their cars and quietly leave. On the drive home, Harold and Brandon speculated about what could have led to George's arrest. They wondered if he had done the unthinkable and questioned the reasons behind it. They suspected that George might have been enraged by the false pregnancy claim, though it didn't add up. They even considered the possibility that Anna had framed George. It was all so overwhelming, they didn't know what to think. When they got home, they recounted the day's shocking events to Gloria, with Tato quietly listening in. The room was filled with sadness. Periods of silence would settle over them, broken only by someone speaking, and Gloria would just shake her head in disbelief. Brandon stared at his father, who was lost in thought, gazing out the window. Tato thought about his rap, but he knew now wasn't the right time to mention it. Tato realized that Pop was too distracted by what had happened at the funeral to finish the rap. He knew he'd have to go to school and perform it without any music.
Do you agree with Harold and Brandon's reactions to George's sudden arrest? How would you have reacted in their situation? In the comments below, let us know your thoughts. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.